Breaking news, Manchester City's magician is the secret behind City's rise to the top of the game. Crucial goals, match-winning moments, and the most lovable guy in the team, Bernardo Silva is Man City's diamond. But with time running out on his career at City, will Bernardo be motivated to continue his chapter or call it quits? Bernardo Silva's rise to the top of football is one crazy journey. Born on the 10th of August 1994 in Portugal, Bernardo was only 7 years old when he started in the Benfica Academy, and straight away his coaches noticed he was different. Bernardo's technical ability set him apart. The stuff he could do with a ball at his feet was mind-blowing. After hitting his stuff at Benfica all through his youth career, unfortunately, he never quite got his big break at Benfica because he only played 3 times for the senior team, despite winning the Segunda B Player of the Season in the Portuguese Second Division. The problem was that Benfica's coach at the time, Jorge Jesus, he thought Bernardo was too skinny and wouldn't be able to compete in a tough league. So he decided to use him as a left back. Big mistake. In the end, Bernardo figured if he was going to make it big in the game, he needed to move away. And lucky for him, a French team on the rise was ready to give him a chance. AS Monaco. See, Monaco was in the process of rebuilding their squad, and coming into the 2014-15 season, with Champions League football in the bag, they were able to attract some of the brightest talent in the game, including Bernardo Silva from Benfica. The agreement was supposed to be a 1-year loan deal to kinda test Silva's ability in a new league, but after watching him put up moments like this, it only took Monaco 6 months to make the move permanent. His first season at Monaco was impressive. He notched up 10 goals and 4 assists in 45 games and helped Monaco finish third and qualify for European football. It didn't just end there too, because in the same season, Silva made his debut for the national team too. Later in June that year, Bernardo was part of the Portuguese team that finished as runners-up in the Under-21 Championship. But coming into 2015-16, it didn't quite go the way he'd planned. The injuries ruined everything. His numbers went down, 7 goals and 3 assists in all competitions, and that's because the hamstring injuries played a big part in affecting his season. They were so bad that Portugal's biggest achievement in the country's football history. Yeah, this one. Bernardo missed out due to injury. Bernardo knew he needed to get back to the early form that had people talking about him before the injuries, and once he was back in shape, his 2016-17 season was out of this world. He and Monaco took Europe by storm. Now Monaco against the odds won the league, and while guys like Radamel Falcao and Kylian Mbappe grabbed the headlines, behind the scenes the real OGs know it was Bernardo pulling the strings. See, in truth, Silva's game was never about the numbers. Whenever he was on the ball, he made magic happen. Bernardo created more chances from open play, completed more dribbles, and made more final third passes than any of his teammates. And despite being really small, he won 189 duels that season. The guy's a fighter. But more importantly, the one guy, he reminded him of a club legend and had the makings to become a future star. At Manchester City, a revolution was happening. Now Pep Guardiola was still in his first season at the club, and after finishing trophyless, it was clear he had work to do. In the Champions League, City got knocked out in the quarterfinals, with Bernardo doing the cooking. Pep had seen enough. He was convinced Bernardo was a proper talent and was so hyped about signing him that he even made City and Monaco agree to a $45 million deal before the season even ended. And Bernardo was now repping Manchester Sky Blue. But before that, he had international football around the corner. At the time, Bernardo made the Portugal team to the last ever edition of the FIFA Confederations Cup, but unfortunately they crashed out in the semis after losing on penalties to Chile. He was back in England to represent Man City now, and his first season had a lot of City fans waiting to see if the hype surrounding him was real. But in truth, it kinda took a while for him to settle in. 9 goals and 10 assists in 53 games, but the good performances were mixed. His average form went into the World Cup too. He didn't really set the world on fire with Portugal and Russia, as they crashed out in the round of 16 stage. But if there's one thing Pep knows how to do, is get the best out of his players. And once he figured out where Bernardo's best position was, he unlocked a new version of his game. That turned him into one of the best players on the planet. Now before this, Bernardo had primarily played as a right winger, but with Kevin De Bruyne struggling with fitness issues, Pep decided to play Bernardo in the role he'd usually play KDB, and the results were insane. These are just some of the highlights. Bernardo was incredible all campaign long. He won the domestic treble with City and was so good that at the end of the campaign he was voted as the club's best player that season, and he took his amazing form into the Nations League finals with Portugal. After assisting Goncalo Guedes in the final, Silva picked up another Player of the Tournament award. On a roll, although I can't lie, I heard the major reason Bernardo scooped up this award was because he'd subscribed to Footballers before anyone else in the tournament did. Overall, he finished the 2018-19 season with 13 goals and 12 assists in 51 games. But like I said, Bernardo's game has never really been about the numbers. He's a magician and keeps reminding the City fans of a former legend in the team. Yep, David Silva. See, coming into the 2019-20 season, David Silva announced that it was going to be his last one at the club. And with a legend like that preparing to leave, City should have been looking for a replacement. But instead, they didn't sweat, because they had Bernardo. But in truth, his performances in the next couple of seasons weren't quite at the level of his 2018-19, and this was because KDB was back, and Pep wanted to give Phil Foden a chance down the middle at City, and Bernardo was once again stuck at play out wide. But in 2021-22, Pep figured it was time to give that 2018-19 Bernardo a rerun, and my guy delivered. He was the heart of the team that season, operating in the center now. Bernardo Silva was sensational. I mean, here's the stunner he bagged against Villa in the league. Maxed out his technique. The thing is, that season Bernardo saved some of his best stuff for the Champions League. City faced Madrid in an epic semi-final clash, and in the first leg, he was decisive. This goal took City to a 4-3 lead, and in the second leg, he assisted Riyad Mahrez's goal to put City minutes away from a second consecutive Champions League final, but they choked on it, conceded 3 goals and got knocked out. The disappointment didn't just end at the club level, unfortunately, because at the World Cup, he wasn't exactly at his brilliant best as Portugal got knocked out in the quarter-final to Morocco. Back to club focus now, and coming into the 2022-23 season, the goal was clear for Bernardo and the rest of his teammates. They wanted to win the Champions League, and Pep knew if he was going to do this, he'd have to get the best out of players like Bernardo, because now Pep had realized, just like everyone watching did, that playing Bernardo certainly would get the best out of him. He was now City's ultimate utility player, and in return, Bernardo delivered in the big games. A goal and an assist against Bayern Munich, and in the semi-finals against Real Madrid again. After drawing the first leg 1-1, Bernardo wasn't going to take another European heartbreak, so in the second leg he made it his mission to send City to the final. Popped a brace to knock the defending champions out. 2022-23, Bernardo was a key part of the City team that won a historic treble, winning the FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champions League. After everything he'd done last season, though, Bernardo's future was in the air. See, his contract at City was running out, and one Spanish team had been keeping tabs on him for months: Barcelona. They wanted to get Bernardo as a free agent, and even Pep admitted that he was scared to see Bernardo leave. I hope he doesn't leave. I hope he doesn't leave. But I don't know what will happen. In the end, though, Barca never made an offer at the start of 2023-24, and even if they did, I'm pretty sure John Stones would have convinced him to stay. No, not his teammate, the other John Stones. It worked because at the start of the new season, Bernardo showed his commitment to the club. Bernardo extended his contract at City by 1 more year. It's 2023-24 now, and once again Bernardo has been one of City's best players. They've had a disappointing campaign, failing to live up to the standards they set last season. Getting knocked out of the Champions League and being involved in a title fight with Arsenal and Liverpool, but still, Bernardo's been impressive. He's currently got 11 goals and 6 assists in all competitions now, and with the league and FA Cup still to play for, he'd be key if they want to win. Pep knows this too, and that's when Bernardo told him to subscribe to Footballers. He did! There's no way you'd want a key player upset.